Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at the core values of a marketing and advertising agency called Alter.
Hmm.
Their vision is quite something: to be recognized as the home of limitless creativity.
It's ambitious, definitely. Sets a high bar.
It does.
Yeah,
And it makes you wonder, what kind of foundation do you need for creativity to be limitless?
right.
What really allows that?
Exactly. It's not just about letting ideas run wild. There has to be some structure, some principles underneath.
So we've been looking at their approach, their values. And today, we want to zero in on one specific value: respect.
Right.
And within that, a very specific commitment. I protect others' privacy, keeping sensitive information confidential.
And this, I think, is where it gets really interesting. Because Alter seems to frame respect not just as, basic politeness.
How so?
It's positioned as the bedrock of trust and handling information responsibly. That's presented as one of the clearest ways to demonstrate that trust.
Okay, so less about manners, more about reliability.
Precisely. Think about our industry marketing, advertising. We're constantly dealing with sensitive stuff, right? Client plans, new campaign ideas, sometimes even personal conversations within the team.
Sure, access to information is just part of the job.
It is. But how you handle that access, that's what Alter seems to be highlighting. It's about being careful, being intentional. That's what sets a culture apart.
Okay, let's unpack that for you listening.
Mm-hmm.
When Alter says protect privacy, keep information confidential, what does that actually mean day to day for someone working there?
Well, they talk about respect in action. It's about the practical things like not forwarding emails or DMs that were clearly meant only for you.
Seems obvious, but maybe easy to forget in the moment.
It can be. Or avoiding casual gossip. You might just be chatting, but you could accidentally reveal something personal someone shared, or maybe a detail about a project that isn't public yet.
Right, the unintended disclosure,
Mhm.
even without meaning any harm.
Exactly. And that erodes trust. It's also about client information, being super careful, even when talking internally. Knowing what's okay to discuss broadly versus what needs to stay within a very small circle.
That line can be tricky sometimes.
It can. And then there's the proactive side, like actually locking your screen when you steered away, or using secure folders for sensitive files, not leaving things out in the open, digitally or physically.
Taking those small, conscious steps.
Yes. And pausing before you discuss sensitive topics. Are you in an open office, a coffee shop? Could someone over here maybe take it to a private room or wait?
It sounds like a lot of it comes down to just pausing and thinking.
Absolutely. And asking yourself that key question, would I want this shared if it were about me? It's a simple gut check.
That's a great filter. Applying the golden rule to information, it really makes it about empathy, doesn't it?
It does. It connects these actions back to building that culture of trust we talked about.
So let's make it even more concrete. What does this look like at Alter? Can you give us some, real-world scenarios?
Sure, let's talk about what this looks like at Alter, based on their own examples. Think about a team member who gets an internal update.
Okay.
They keep it strictly within their project team. They don't CC half the company just because they're friendly with people. They respect the designated channels.
So, respecting the need-to-know principle.
Right. Or imagine someone preparing a presentation, maybe for a wider internal group, or even something external.
Yeah, happens all the time.
An alt link, as they call their people, would consciously strip out client names or identifying details from examples. They'd say a retail client instead of naming the brand. Generalized to protect confidentiality.
That's smart. It's not just about preventing leaks, but maintaining discretion even when sharing learnings.
Exactly. And on the personal side, it's about not discussing a colleague's personal situation unless you have their explicit go-ahead.
The water cooler talk trap.
Precisely. Someone confides in you about a health issue, a family problem, that's not material for office chatter, even among work friends. It's about respecting personal boundaries, full stop.
That requires real emotional intelligence.
It does. And operationally, it's simply using the tools provided. Secure folders, access-controlled links for sensitive documents, being mindful on calls, especially with external folks, choosing your words and your setting carefully.
These examples really highlight how it's those consistent, maybe small daily actions that build the bigger picture of trust and integrity.
Couldn't agree more. It's not about grand declarations, it's the everyday choices.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Let's talk why. Why does this commitment to privacy and confidentiality matter so much? What's the real impact for the individual and for Alter as a whole?
That's the crucial part, isn't it? The payoff. When everyone buys into this, when they truly protect privacy, the effects are profound.
How so?
First off, you build genuine trust and, importantly, emotional safety. Think about that. A workplace where you feel safe to share a raw idea, ask a basic question, maybe even admit you messed up, without fearing it'll be gossiped about or held against you.
That kind of safety must be essential for creativity.
Absolutely essential. It unlocks bolder thinking. People take risks when they feel secure. It directly feeds into that limitless creativity vision.
Makes sense. If you're guarded, your creativity probably is too. What else?
Well, it massively boosts credibility. Internally, yes, but externally too. Clients trust you with their sensitive data, their strategies. Partners know you're reliable. That reputation for integrity is gold in our business.
Trust becomes a competitive advantage.
Without a doubt. It attracts clients, it attracts talent. People want to work with and for organizations they trust. It shows integrity, even when no one's checking.
And internally, for the team.
It fosters an environment where people can actually be open and honest. If you need help or if you see a problem, you feel safer speaking up if you trust the information will be handled respectfully.
Which probably speeds things up, makes feedback work better.
Exactly. It makes the whole operation smoother, more connected, more human. High-trust environments are just more effective, especially for creative, collaborative work.
So these aren't just nice-to-have rules. They're fundamental building blocks for the kind of place Alter wants to be.
That's it. They enable the core mission.
Okay, this has been really insightful. Before we wrap up, let's give you, our listeners, something really practical, a tool you can use immediately.
Yeah, let's distill it down. Before sharing information, any information, pause and ask yourself 3 quick questions. Think of them as a mental checklist.
Ready. What's the first one?
First, is this mine to share? Simple, but powerful. Does this information belong to you? Did someone give it to you in confidence? Or does it belong to someone else, their personal life, their work?
It forces you to consider ownership and permission. Okay, what's next?
Second, am I protecting someone else's dignity or trust? This brings in empathy. Will sharing this uphold the respect someone deserves, the trust they've placed in you or the team? Or could it cause harm, embarrassment, break that trust?
Focusing on the potential impact on the other person. Got it. And the third?
Third, and maybe the most direct, would I feel respected if this were about me? Apply that golden rule again. Would you want this detail about your life, your idea, your mistake, shared in this way?
Put yourself in their shoes.
Exactly. It demands consistency. Treat others' information as you'd want yours treated.
Those 3 questions. Is it mine to share? Am I protecting dignity or trust? Would I feel respected? They're incredibly useful, simple, actionable, empathetic, a great way to live this value every day.
They really help translate the principle into practice.
So wrapping this up, it seems clear that for Alter, respect really does start with trust. And building that trust, well, that starts with each individual action, each decision about handling information.
It's a collective effort built on individual responsibility.
It's about being intentional, thoughtful, and responsible. Not just following a rule book, but actively creating an environment where, yes, that limitless creativity can actually happen because people feel safe and respected.
Well said.
We really encourage you listening to think about these ideas. Maybe try using those 3 questions in your own interactions this week. See what shifts.
It can be quite revealing.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into respect, privacy, and trust. What's one thing you heard today that made you pause and think? We'll be back soon to explore another topic.